Hey, good evening, everybody. It is 8 minutes after 10 Central Standard Time on November the 21st, 2018, the day before Thanksgiving. Also happens to be the day before the 55th anniversary of the assassination of John Kennedy. But just wanted to get out here today because I haven't been out here in a while, and just wanted to say that we haven't forgotten about you. We've just been kind of busy. For those of you that don't know, I work for the Postal Service as the manager of information systems, and part of my responsibility is setting up what we call the holiday peak annexes, along with the data communications that goes along with that. And so I've been pretty busy here lately, but I just wanted to check in with you because I wanted you to know that we hadn't forgotten about you, and there are a few things that we want to talk about, not necessarily all of them at once, but more importantly today, to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Now, I know that there are those members of our society, younger members of society, younger than myself, that think that because of the history of this nation that we ought to change the names to some holidays and we ought to do some things differently. I myself have always been a proponent of the fact that the history of the United States ought to be told in its entirety, both the good and the bad, so that it can all be exposed to whatever scrutiny it needs to be exposed to, so that we get an opportunity as a people to make rational decisions based on truth rather than on supposition or whatever it is that happens to be out there. The history of this country, even though, quote unquote, Mr. Trump has said that he wants to make America great again, truth of it is that regardless of all of that, there are some things that are hidden in our past, hidden in our history, that have not been identified and we have not taken account for and said anything about, or we have buried and don't want to face the reality of what it is. But the thing about it is that regardless of all of that, because that history and all of that, that's all stuff for a different time. That's all stuff for a different discussion, a different dialogue. But what's important right now is the fact that you take the time tomorrow to thank God, or for those of you that don't believe in God, the higher power or whatever it is that you happen to believe in, that you take that time tomorrow to get with family and friends and to express your love and your thankfulness for being able to breathe and to have another day where you get to enjoy the company of those people that you love. Thinking about all of the wonderful things that have happened in thinking about all of the things that have happened in your life, both the good and the bad. That goes back to my previous statement about the fact that this country has not truly expressed everything that's in its history, both the good and the bad. But we as a people and as individuals ought to take the time tomorrow to reflect over our lives and be thankful for the fact that we made it this far, that we've been able to accomplish whatever it is that we've accomplished in our life, both the good and the bad. Being able to say thank you for to people that we love for their contributions in our lives, and being able to accept gratitude and thanks from those people who we have contributed to. That's the real meaning behind this quote unquote holiday that we call Thanksgiving. It's an opportunity, yes, it's an opportunity to sit down with friends and to make just a pure D glutton out of yourself. It's real easy to do that. You can sit there and eat turkey and ham or Cornish hens or whatever it is that you happen to be eating, mac and cheese, mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes, pies, and for those of you that drink, whatever your drink of choice may happen to be, you go right on ahead and you enjoy yourself tomorrow. But remember the fact that there are those that are less fortunate than you are, those whose lives have been turned upside down by I guess what they're calling the campfire now, or the fire that is affecting those people in cities like Paradise, California. And yes, I've seen the Facebook stuff that says that Paradise, California is one of the most racist towns in America. But that's beside the point. Human beings are being displaced. Human beings are not going to be in their homes. Human beings are not going to be with their things, because the things, their possessions are gone. And the bottom line is, regardless of anything else, you ought to be empathetic enough to understand that what would you do if that happened to be you? What would you want people to do for you if that happened to be you? Would you want them praying for you, or would you want them to dwell on all of the negative stuff that's going on, or all of the negative things that, quote unquote, your community has been a part of? See, the thing about it is that when we're talking about living this life and doing those things that we need to do, it's time out for all of the bombastic rhetoric that says that, hey, look, we don't want you here. You don't need to do this. You don't need to do that. I'm mad at you because of this, or I'm mad at you because of that. But the thing about it is that, we've gotten away, because of social media, we've gotten away from the sensible stuff that used to happen, where you walk down the street and you greet somebody because you recognize somebody on the street, and you take the time out to wave and at least acknowledge their presence. I'm saying all of this because of the fact that I recently had a situation where someone that I was waving to out on Messenger was upset because of the fact that I was actually waving. Well, the problem with that, of course, is that whatever may go on, whatever happens with that, is that truth be told, if it's social media, then I ought to be able to be sociable on it. I ought to be able to say hello. I ought to be able to say thank you. I ought to be able to recognize you as an individual and as a person. So the thing is that regardless of anything else, whatever it is that's going on in your life, tomorrow take the time to give thanks. We haven't forgotten, and just so you know, I haven't forgotten where we left off. There are a few things that we need to close up right about now or not today, but in the next couple of days, we'll be closing up what the discussion on what's wrong with the church. We'll also get back and resume our Hope and Faith series, and we'll be resuming with going back and recapping steps 1, 2, and 3, as well as getting on to step 4. So for those of you that are watching today, this will be rebroadcast in its entirety through videotape because of the connectivity issues that I'm pretty sure that we're experiencing. But just wanted to say God bless, and may you and your families, each and every one of you, have a very happy and safe and blessed Thanksgiving. We'll talk to you later. Thanks and good night.